Okay, let's see if we can get this thing put together now. You saw me welding my sleeve on here, right there, weld it around there, and the top has a roll pin holding it in place there, so that's removable if I need to. And of course you have already seen how our chrome sleeve will slide down over here, and once I get the steering box put together, we'll determine the actual length of this part. And then when I do that, then I will be able to probably just punch a little bitty hole in here and put a sheet metal screw into this. It won't screw into this, it'll just go in there and stop it against that. You know what I'm saying? And that'll give us our chrome column. So anyway, without further ado, let's do this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together basically dry. I'm going to put a little dab of, this is just motor oil on here. Just like that, to give it a little bit of lubrication there. And I'm going to give it a little dab right there. And another one in here. And another one between my two washers. I'm going to remember that while this was originally meant to be an auger drive for a snowblower, now is going to be a steering box, and it's not going to get a whole lot of cranking, you know. It's not going to need a whole bunch of gobbledygook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put this down into our base. See if I have everything arranged here properly. And this is going to go down in here like this. Now the issue that I have is I can't just put it all together laying down flat, which would be very nice if I could, but we have our shaft that goes this way, which is laying right there, already inserted into the other side. And I'm going to get these have wings on these bushings, and I got to make sure that this sleeve goes all the way down in. And make sure this one is all the way in. That's not all the way in for some reason, but we'll get it. So what I am going to do then is I'm going to put a little bit of oil on here and a little bit of oil on here. And what I'm thinking is that I may actually end up putting oil in this box, the gearbox itself. I do have a drain plug. That's actually the fill plug, because this originally would have been running horizontally this way, and it's still running horizontally, but this is going to be tipped up this way now at a 45-degree angle, and effectively my fill plug is going to be just about on the bottom, but I still may end up filling it through there. And all I'm going to have is just enough for these gears to catch, because these gears will pick up whatever oil I use and they will transfer them over to that. So we've got the oil on those two pieces, and I had made up a gasket for this many moons ago when I first started working on it to make it into my Yeah, make it into my steering box. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit of this gasket maker stuff on here. Because it is critical, actually, that the thickness of the gasket be appropriate. When I first was doing this, I tried going with no gasket, and it wouldn't work with no gasket. It was too tight, and I couldn't get the pieces to fit together properly. So this time around, we're going to give it just a light coating on that surface, like that. More to hold the gasket in place than anything else. Wipe that off, and we'll wipe it all off once we get it all together. And this is the gasket that I had made for this, because the original one fell apart when I took the box apart. I don't know how many, well, most of you won't remember, but actually the augers were stuck onto these shafts that stuck out either side, and you can see these cut marks on here where I had to use a grinder to actually grind the length, and I peeled those pieces off a little bit at a time. Rear end over here, I'm going to call it a rear end for now, but I think it's going to end up being a steering box. So put a thin coat on this side as well. Probably would have helped myself if I'd used the long needle nose that goes with it, but it's hard to keep them sealed up when you use the needle nose. And again, this is just to aid the gasket a little bit. Okay. Make a mess out of my fingers and get it all over the steering box in the process, probably. Got to keep my fingers clean now. This is not a grease operation. All right, so now we're going to take this part here, and I will temporarily put a little bit of oil right in here, just like that. Come on, slide in there. There we go. Now we got it. There. Now, this steering box goes this way on the track, like that. And if you remember, I have this bolt here. This has to go from this side, so that tells me the orientation of all the rest of the bolts too. Actually, this is going to go this way. Yeah, this, I think it doesn't go right there. That comes down here. Yep, that's where that's going to go. So all my bolts are going to be oriented this way. It looks like I have the wrong bolts out. And we're going to put the rest of the bolts. What all the bolts for this? Yeah, those are the ones they work for. They're too long. Not good. Not good. Okay, this will start on here. What if I read my brain? Cold up here. Yeah, I'm trying to heat your back on. It's only about 32 degrees in here right now. I know one thing. I do want a long one there, so I'm going to put that one on there because I'm going to make another bracket like this one to help stabilize. So I'm going to put that one there. You know, they're certainly longer than they need to be. I'm going to look at the rag that has gasket stuff on it.